All right, students, good morning. This is a big week in terms of starting out with hybrid and starting out with assignments as we near the end of the marking period. So it is important that we get these assignments done. They will either make or break your first marking period grade. So let's take a look at LEQ 5. How did Reconstruction change America? That is what we're going to be taking a look at this week. Today you are going to work on what's called Reconstruction Era Amendments. Then by Thursday, so you're going to be in Wednesday and have some time to work on Freedmen's Bureau independent work. And then by Friday, you're going to turn in Proof of Change. And then all throughout the week, we're going to be working on the summative vocab bit by bit as you are going through. So if you take a look at the actual agenda, you will see that you guys are A-Day. So you are turning in Reconstruction Amendments today. You are also starting your summative vocab. So you're able to answer LEQ 4 as well as the first 3 vocab terms. Then by Thursday, you are turning in, since you are A-Day, you are turning in Freedmen's Bureau independent work. You'll also be able to complete LEQ 5 and the vocab term Freedmen's Bureau, since that's what you worked on. And then finally, by Friday, you are turning in Proof of Change and finishing up the vocab packet, which is summative. So very important that we get all our assignments done and we get them done thoroughly this week. I want to go over with you today's assignment, Reconstruction Era Amendments. So when I open that up, this is what it looks like. So to recap, Andrew Johnson was a president from the South who did not have a plan that benefited African Americans after the Civil War. He basically said, yes, slavery's over, but we're not going to do anything to help out the freedmen. On the opposite side, we had our radical Republicans who said, let's do everything possible to help out the freedmen and let's punish the Southerners. Let's hang them. Andrew Johnson wanted to pardon the leaders. The radical Republicans butted heads with him and said, let's hang them. So the radical Republicans said, well, let's get some things placed into law to protect the freedmen. And what they did were passed 3 amendments, which are laws, or also known as changes to our Constitution. So these 3 amendments are going to be very important for today's assignment. The 13th Amendment says neither slavery nor involuntary servitude shall exist within the United States anymore. So simply put, this is the official legal end of slavery. If you live in the South, you have to accept the Civil War's over, and so is slavery. You can't try to own slaves or force people to work for you. The 14th Amendment says all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States. So now, if you're born in the United States, which all slaves were at the time, you're now a citizen. If we go on to read here, no state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process, that means fair treatment under the law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. So this is a huge deal for the freedmen. They're citizens. They have equal rights and equal protection under the laws. So now they have due process. They're able to go to court. They're able to get a lawyer if they need to. They're able to have a hearing. They're supposed to get fairness and equal treatment under the law. Very big deal. So this would overturn the Dred Scott decision. If you remember, Dred Scott was the slave whose master died, and then he sued for his freedom. And the Supreme Court said, nah, you're not a person, you're property, so you can't sue. Under the 14th Amendment, he is a person now, he is a citizen, and you can go to court. So the 14th Amendment was a huge deal in making African Americans citizens and giving them equality under the law. Then finally, the radical Republicans passed the 15th Amendment, or change to our Constitution. Let's see what it says. So, the right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of race, color, or previous condition of servitude. So now African Americans are allowed to vote. Now it's important to remember at this time in 1869, no women could vote. No white or black women could vote. It was commonly believed that their place was to be in the house, to be homemakers, to take care of the children, to take care of the home, and they weren't meant to be taking part in politics. So this was a huge deal for African American men. Now they had the right to vote. They would be able to go to the polling places and vote for people that supported African American rights and an agenda that wanted to expand their civil rights. Okay, what you need to work on today is match up each of these words to the sentence that completes it. So you're going to type your answer where it says answer there. Then for part 2, scenarios. If you read the following scenarios, you need to decide what amendment to the Constitution is being violated. So in each of these scenarios, either the 13th, 14th, or 15th Amendment is getting broken. So I'll do number 8 with you. As a group of black voters is entering a poll place in the city of Philadelphia, a member of the KKK is standing out front holding a club and threatening black voters, trying to make them not vote. Well, if I scroll up, I remember that the amendment that had to do with voting was the 15th. So this is breaking the 15th Amendment. So I'm going to explain that. The 15th Amendment is being violated because the KKK are trying to stop black men from voting. All right, so you're going to do that with number 9 and number 10 as well. Then finally today, you are going to imagine that you are a former plantation owner in the South. The Civil War is over, but you are very bitter that you have lost all your slaves and your whole way of life has changed. You're even more bitter that the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments have been passed, giving these former slaves rights. For each amendment, you're going to think as a Southern white plantation owner who's angry. What could you do to interfere with freed blacks from enjoying their new rights? How could you try to take away these rights from the freed slaves that are now still among you in your community? Think of some practical examples and explain them below. So one of the examples there kind of already dealt with the 15th Amendment. So we could send militias or armed groups to polling places and threaten African Americans. So come up with several ideas for each. How could you undo or try to threaten these new rights? Because that's what the whites in the South would try to do. And I want you to try to kind of anticipate for next class or next week what is going to happen. All right, so Once you complete this, then you are able to finally, the last thing today, go to your summative vocab, concept 2 and 3, summative vocab, and you are able to answer the first question, LEQ 4. How did the plans for Reconstruction differ in their vision for the United States? So you already wrote about that. So you should be able to tell me this easily in 4 to 5 sentences. What did Andrew Johnson as president believe? What did the radical Republicans believe? And what did they try to do for both African Americans and for Southern whites? So you're going to do LEQ 4, then skip down, and you are able to answer the first 3 vocab terms: radical Republicans, amnesty, pardon, and Reconstruction amendments, since we went over them today. So you're going to get those done, and each day you're doing a part of this vocab packet so that by Friday it is all done, it's all complete. You're not trying to do it all rushed Thursday night, because that would just be too much and a mess and you wouldn't get it done thoroughly. All right, so that is the last thing that you are doing today. If you have any questions, be sure to send me a Schoology message. Have a good day.